Hello and welcome back to another episode here on the Cosmere SMP. In this episode we're going to be looking at the Mystical Agriculture mod. So before we get started, I'm just going to go through some of the very fundamental basics of the Mystical Agriculture mod. There are a lot of things that you can do with it. I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter than usual. So what the Mystical Agriculture mod is focused around. It's not the biggest mod in the world, but what it's focused around is growing crops that will then produce essence that can then be used to craft into different different materials. So I have here a bit of a little farm going on, and one of the things you're probably going to want to get started off first is crafting inferium seeds. So inferium is kind of the base that you're going to need for this entire mod. You're going to collect it by either mining it or killing mobs. Once you get a decent amount of inferium, you can use it to craft this inferium seed. So it's just 8 pieces of inferium around a wheat seed. And when you plant it in farmland, it will grow and it will produce essence every time you break it. Now, if you want to get more essence out of it, what you're going to need to do is craft what's known as essence farmland. There are different tiers of essence. Starts with inferium, then prudentium, tertium, imperium, and finally supremium. The higher tier farmland you have, the more inferium essence you're going to get. To get essence farmland, what you are going to do is, I've got one here. You should just be able to right-click farmland with essence and it will turn it into essence farmland. You can also craft it up in a crafting table if you want, but just beware that it is a little silly. I kind of did it before I fully read the book. There is a book for Mystical Agriculture. You craft it with a book and essence. I'd say this book is relatively useful, especially if you find yourself stuck, but it kind of walks through some of the basics. There is more to it. For instance, you can actually craft up seeds that produce mob drops instead of just plain resources. There are some machines that you can also do, faster furnaces, more efficient furnaces and the like. You can make weapons and armor and all that. But we're going to focus in on the seeds and how to craft these seeds. So the first thing you do is get that inferium essence seed. You're then going to want to craft an infusion crystal, which is just some prosperity shards, which you get from mining, a diamond, and some essence. The infusion crystal is what you're going to use to upgrade your essence from one tier to the next. So I can hit U for uses, and I can use inferium to craft prudentium, prudentium to craft tertium, tertium to craft imperium, and imperium to craft supremium. It does take a lot of essence to finally get up here to supremium, so you're going to want to kind of upgrade your essence farmland as you go. The higher tier essence farmland you have, the more essence you're going to get. There are other ways of getting this essence. You could make a mob farm. What I have in here in my little greenhouse that I've been working on is I actually have some garden cloches, which is a machine from the immersive engineering mod. Yeah, immersive engineering. So the garden cloche just grows resources. It did require putting a data pack on the server to be able to get those two mods to work together. But you can see down here, it's not pretty, but it's not pretty yet, but I have a whole bunch of different kinds of essence. I've got iron, stone, emerald, wood, copper, I'm slowly working on getting more different kinds of essence, but yeah, so that is it for the essences. Once you have a decent supply of essence, you're then going to want to start crafting seeds. So some of the seeds are useful, some of the seeds are less useful. They come in different tiers, so there's the elemental tier, which I don't believe actually does anything. Yeah, so air essence does not do anything. Earth essence can be used to craft soul sand. Water essence can be used to make clay, kelp, and water buckets, and fire essence is for sand, red sand, flint, lava, and soul sand. So I'm probably not going to be crafting many of those essences, or many of those seeds. But all of the other seeds will fall into different tiers, and that will tell you the kind of essence you need to craft it. Tier 1, you just need Inferium. Tier 2 needs Prudentium. Tier 3 needs, where's Tier 3? There's Tier 3. Needs, whatever this one is, Tertium. And then Tier 4 will need the blue one, which is Imperium. And then finally, Tier 5 is going to need the Supremium. There are some seeds in here that if you click on it, there is no recipe, because this mod was kind of made for working with other mods that are not in the mod pack. So just keep in mind that there are going to be some that aren't quite working right, so just, you know, it is what it is. But to showcase some of these, let's look at Tier 4. Steel. That would be a really useful one. So to make steel, what you need is an infusion altar and pedestal. You're going to need 1 infusion altar and 8 infusion pedestals. And this tells you what you need to put on those different pedestals. So the altar will take prosperity seeds, which are crafted with prosperity shards and wheat. And then the pedestals will take usually 4 of the essence for whatever tier it is you're talking about, and then 4 of the item that you're trying to craft. So I picked a tier 4 because I know that I have a lot of... Wait, is it tier 4? Yes, tier 4. Because I know I have a lot of tier 4 essence. Because I've been auto-crafting it. Which is something you can do in immersive engineering, which I'll get to on another video. So let's get seeds. Let's get that. So I'm going to go ahead and do steel. I'm going to also do electrum would be a useful one. And then what other tier 4 do I want? Gold, I think, is going to be my other tier 4. So then you just need to take them over to whatever crafting, infusion crafting thing you have. And let me pull up the nickel. So the infusion altar is just made with stone, carpet, and gold. And then the infusion pedestal is also made with stone, carpet, and gold. You're going to put the seeds in the middle, the essence. I'm not really sure if the essence needs to be staggered like this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because... Oh, okay. Sorry about that. And then lastly, you just need to give it a redstone signal. So I've got a button on the ground to give it a redstone signal. And that will craft up the seed, which you'll then plant and start growing. Mystical agriculture crops grow very, very, very slowly. So I would recommend, if you're not already a Mistborn, trying to find a Laracium, I can't pronounce it, trying to find one of those nuggets so that you can become a Mistborn, because then you can burn Bendalloy and speed up crop growth. You could also work on getting a watering can, which is not terribly hard to make. However, and it does speed up the crop growth, however, it doesn't speed it up very much. So, you know, I personally think that if you're going to go the plain old farming route, you would be better off using Bendalloy to speed it all up. So now I've got some seeds, and I can go plant them in my crops. Or what I'm going to do is actually use my garden cloches. And so it will grow, and I'll stand right here to harvest, to collect it myself. It'll grow, it takes a little while. The higher tier seeds I have noticed do tend to take a little bit longer to grow. But eventually, at some point, of course, now that I'm waiting for it, it's going to take forever. But at some point, it will spit out the essence, which I can then use to craft. So some of the crafting recipes do require multiple kinds of essence. So I can hit use. For this one, I just need steel to make steel essence to make steel ingots. However, the gold, I would need nether if I'm going to make nether gold ore, or I would need stone if I'm going to make plain gold ore. So it does require you to like plan ahead and think about what materials you want. Put that there, and I'm going to need more drawers. Seems like I always need more drawers. And of course I ran out of wood. But fortunately I have wood essence here, so I can just turn wood essence into wood. And then bust that out. Okay. So that should be it. Okay. Oh, I knew that would happen. Okay, there we go. So I think that actually might be close to it for this. As far as getting other kinds of crops, there are the mob crops. So I thought I saw one here. It's like spider. In order to make spider seeds, you're going to need a different kind of seed in the middle called a solium seed, which you get from solium dust, and your prosperity seed. Solium dust you get from smelting solium ore. You also get it from just mining solium ore, if I remember correctly. Solium ore is found in the nether, so be careful, but it shouldn't be too terribly hard to find. Actually, let me go ahead and hop in there. And I should be able to find some pretty quick. So, you know, if you've started exploring the nether, you'll probably have noticed that there are some patches like this. This is solium, or soulstone, which is used to make smooth soulstone, which is used to make soul dust, which can be used to make a couple other things. But we also have this solium ore, which, if we use it, we make solium dust. This can be used to make your solium dagger and your solium seeds. There's also, where is it? Jar. So to get those mob souls, you do need a soul jar. Let me read it about it in the book. Soul jars are used in combination with the dagger to collect the mob souls. If this is anything like past examples of this mod, you'll have to kill the mob with the dagger in order to harvest their soul. And you're going to need 4 of each soul in order to make the... let me run away from that ghast. You're going to need 4 of each soul in order to make each seed. So some of the mobs will be easier to find. Some of the mobs will be harder to get. Like if you wanted, I'm pretty sure there's a recipe for ghast tears, or ghast seeds. Yep, ghast seeds. So trying to kill a ghast with a dagger, that would be a little hard unless you had the ability to fly. So, you know, I would prioritize which ones you're actually interested in trying to get. You know, which ones would be more useful to you. That's really all I have to say about mystical agriculture. You know, there are other chapters in this book that I'm not too familiar with. Like, I have not done any of the tinkering. I've not done any of the elemental. Okay, it's a work in progress, so no wonder I haven't done any of it. I haven't done any of the essence armors or essence tools, but you can use essence to create different kinds of gear. But I think that's gonna do it for us today. If you got any questions, feel free to leave comments below. You know, I feel like this was a rather short video, but hopefully it helped. If you got any questions, leave a comment. Like, share, subscribe, whatnot. And the information for how to join the server is going to be located down in the description. So if you're interested, you can always join the Discord, and that will get you into